Carson Wentz does it again. He does it again. There's nothing else to say anymore. He did it again. 8 of 8 in the clutch and throws a touchdown. He does it again. And the Eagles win. The Eagles win. They beat the Redskins. After being down almost the entire game, they come back and beat the Redskins. Not much else to say. Wentz had a pretty solid game. Like, it wasn't one of his best. It wasn't one of his worst. But for the second week in a row, he has come up clutch. 8 of 8 in the clutch. Last week, he throws a touchdown in overtime. And the drive to get him there. He's clutch. He's clutch. He's been clutch. Wentz was 30 of 43, 266 passing yards, 3 touchdowns, 109 passer rating. He's doing this with nobody. With nobody. The only people to catch a ball were Sanders, Ertz, Greg Ward, Boston Scott, and Dallas Cowboys. Arcega-Whiteside can't catch. It hit him right in the hands, and he dropped it in the end zone again. He can't catch. We drafted him in the second round for what? For him to drop a ball? He can't catch. He just can't catch. I don't know what it is. This is the second game this season where he has dropped a touchdown. And he caught one, what was it, last week? 2 weeks ago? He can't catch. He can't catch a deep ball, at least. This is the second game this season where he has dropped a ball in the end zone. One was in week 3 against Detroit, and we would have won the game if he caught it. This time, we would have tied up the game. He stinks. And fortunately, we did end up scoring that drive, but he stinks. He stinks. Miles Sanders had a day. He had a day through the air, on the ground, 122 yards rushing, 1 rushing touchdown, and 6 receptions for 50 yards, and also a touchdown in the back of the end zone, which was a dot by Carson Wentz. On the run, throwing it on the run, through 2 Redskins defenders in the back of the end zone. Miles Sanders catches it and sits. He takes a seat in the end zone. Huge play in this game. Huge play. Carson Wentz, he struggled a little bit throughout the game, but he's throwing it to receivers that are practice squad players. Greg Ward and Boston Scott are practice squad. And our second round pick can't catch a cold he can't catch a cold. I don't know what is wrong with Whiteside, but he stinks. It just shows like DK Metcalf. He went in the 3rd round, late 2nd round, and we drafted Arcega-Whiteside over this guy. It's insane to me. It's insane to me what we do on draft night. I can't even explain. It's just bad. Miles Sanders he was a good pick. But everybody else through the years have stunk. Sidney Jones, Mac Hollins, who's not even on the team anymore. Sidney Jones doesn't even get reps anymore. Arcega-Whiteside this season has stunk all year long. I just don't understand what is wrong with this team. I don't understand what is wrong with the drafting and our receivers. Our receivers stink. If you're not a practice squad player, you should be able to catch these routine balls. You should be able to do this. But instead, Greg Ward, who was a quarterback in college, is catching more and more meaningful touchdowns and plays than you have all season. You and Greg Ward Arcega-Whiteside and Greg Ward have the same amount of touchdowns all season long. Greg Ward's played 4 games, and Arcega-Whiteside has played every game this season. I mean, there's just something wrong with that. There's just something wrong with that. And, it was a good win yesterday, but, I just don't know. This is a Wentz and Sanders type of game. Arthega-Whiteside, if anything, if we didn't end up scoring on that drive, we wouldn't win. We wouldn't have won. It's mind-blowing to me how our players just can't catch. Aguilar didn't play, but he can't catch anyways. Alshon can catch. He's just slow as dirt. Arthega-Whiteside can't catch. And then you have a quarterback that's just turned into a wide receiver, and he's catching 7 balls for 61 yards in the game-winning touchdown with 36 seconds left in the game. There's a problem with that. There really is. There is seriously a problem with that. But back to the game. The Eagles won. 37-27. They beat the Redskins. It was basically a home game in FedEx Field. There were so many Eagles fans there. Every time the Eagles did something good, you heard the crowd. You heard it. Again, Wentz and Sanders looked great. Greg Ward had a great game for, a practice squad player. He's off the practice squad. Fresh off the practice squad. And he's having good games. Same thing with Boston Scott. 7 receptions for 39 yards and 26 rushing yards. I just don't know what to say anymore. This team is just, it's mind-blowing to me. It really is. It's mind-blowing to me. Zach Ertz had a pretty solid game. 5 receptions, 61 yards, and a touchdown. Wentz was going to Ertz a lot early on in the game, which, that's what you expect. He's the only person outside of Dallas Cowboys that you can really trust going 10 yards down the field. How can you trust Greg Ward? How can you trust Boston Scott? You can't trust Whiteside. Man, it's just, it bothers me. It really does. It's concerning. So the Eagles are now 7-7. Next Sunday, 4:25. It all comes down to that. It all comes down to one game. Eagles, Cowboys, 4:25 at the Link for the division. That's what it comes down to. That's what it's going to come down to. And I'm here. I'm here for it. December 22nd, 3 days before Christmas, there would be nothing better than to watch the Cowboys lose that game 3 days before Christmas. There would be nothing better. Because that's what it's all about. At this point in the season, that's what it's about. It's who's going to beat who. Who can brag and say that their team is in the playoffs and their team is not. Even if they lose in the first round. Because both of these teams stink. The Eagles stink and so do the Cowboys. They're both 7-7 fighting for a division. Every other team in the conference and in the league has over 10 wins and is clinching. The Bills have 10 wins. The Bills are 10-4. The Eagles are 7-7. And I get it. The Eagles are very injured right now. Lane Johnson was out yesterday. Derek Barnett was injured yesterday. Alshon, Aguilar. Alshon's out for the season. Jackson's out for the season. Aguilar's out yesterday. And we're going out, with guys like Greg Ward, like Boston Scott. Like Ertz was our third receiver yesterday. And Goedart had basically the whole tight end to himself. 5 receptions, 55 yards. And he had a really good one-handed grab. But, it's tough. It's tough watching this team play. It really is. You have guys that are fighting for their jobs, making plays that your everyday receivers should make. And they're not. Even when Aguilar's in, can you trust him? No. You can't trust him. What happened last time we played Dallas? He alligator armed it. He just completely ignored the fact that the ball was in reach. He just completely pulled his hands back. I mean, Lane Johnson's now day-to-day. He's, probably going to play on Sunday. Aguilar, who knows? His knee's bothering him. It's been bothering him ever since Minnesota. Yeah, okay. Congrats. I just don't know. I don't know what's going to happen with the Philadelphia Eagles next Sunday. Because now the Cowboys won yesterday. In Dallas, against the Rams. They blew out the Rams. 41 to 22 or something like that. And the Eagles barely beat the Redskins. Yeah, they beat them by 10. But that was because Dwayne Haskins fumbled the ball and Nigel Bradham picked it up and returned it. And they covered the spread. But it wasn't really a 30 set. They were down almost the entire game. And it's good. I'm glad Wentz came in clutch, and I'm glad they clutched it out for the second week in a row. But can you really say that you're confident going into this Sunday's game? As an Eagles fan, I think that they're going to win just because that's my nature. That I have to think that. I'm not going to say, "Oh, no, we stink. We're going to lose to Dallas. We're going to get killed." I'm not going to say that. I would never say that. It's anybody's game. They're both 7-7. Dallas blew us out the first time they played us this season, 37-10. That was in Dallas. This is in the link. 3 days before Christmas, in the freezing cold. There's no 80-degree weather. There's no playing in a dome. You're playing outside in the Lincoln Financial Field. That's what this season is coming down to. It is. I mean, there's nothing else to it. Eagles, Cowboys, Christmas Bowl, December 22nd, 4:25, Lincoln Financial Field. That's what it's coming down to. Everybody has to be ready to play. Everybody has to try Aguilar. And we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens on Sunday. Because as of right now, I have no idea. I don't know who's playing. I don't know who's not playing. The Cowboys have a good offense. They are the number one leading offense in the league. Yardage per game. Offense all season long. They average over 400. Our defense the last 2 weeks against the Dolphins, or 3 weeks, against the Dolphins, the Giants, and the Redskins have stunk. But the games prior to that, the Seahawks and the Patriots, we held them each to 17 points. This team is the most inconsistent team I've ever watched. And it's going to come down to who gets the ball last. It's going to be a tight game. It's going to be a good game. It's going to be the game of the year. And for the Eagles and the Cowboys, anyways. I mean, obviously it's not going to be the game of the year for the NFL. People probably aren't even going to watch it half the time. But this is what it's coming down to. Eagles, Cowboys. December 22nd. Sunday. It's basically a night game. We have to win. If we lose, we're out. If we win, we're basically in. But it comes down to one game, Sunday afternoon, basically Sunday night, and we'll see what happens from there. That's it for this video. Eagles beat the Redskins 37-27. Carson Wentz had a pretty good game. 266 yards, 3 touchdowns, 109.3 passer rating. Miles Sanders had a good day. 122 yards, 1 touchdown on the ground, 6 receptions, 50 yards, and 1 touchdown receiving. Greg Ward cut the game-winning touchdown with 36 seconds left. Nigel Bradham covered the spread with the late fumble 6. That's it for this video. I'm out. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Peace.